So, in case you guys didn't watch yesterday, Alliance lost 2-1 in, I think, the round of 8 it was. They lost with, or it might have been the round of 4,
They lost to
actually.
War, and it was the crazy game, right?
Yeah, and I think War qualified based on that, so it might have been the round of 4, actually.
Oh,
it was
that's
the
better.
semifinal. They lost 2-1. All right, because there's no semis that are... It's not until the semis it's best of 3. I'm actually not sure anymore. I'm not 100%. Anyway, they lost 2-1, and the last game was extremely close, and Alliance basically ended up losing while they were throning. They got knocked out by a creep wave that they weren't noticing pushing their throne, and ultimately it did.
How like bad was it? Like the way they lost? Would see like shades of Eternal Envy level? Like that's like the extreme.
I think it was understandable that they were tunnel visioning because it really looked like
it was really close.
Game, but it was still like obviously it's one of those things that it just looks really stupid, but you
Yeah.
can understand that it can happen. There were other issues in that game. You could just argue it should have never got to that point. I think.
Are you surprised by this like early Huskar ban? Is that unusual?
It's an empty ban, I think.
Okay.
I think they just don't know their opponent and they just ban something that either is empty or that they don't want to get cheesed by. The bans from the Radiant make a lot of sense. Those are 3 picks you don't want to give Alliance, probably. So, it's funny to see that Alliance have, like, they haven't had Bulldog for years now.
And they still
now
Lone Druid's getting banned.
Now they've got one of the expert on Bulldog's heroes, actually. They just got Koikva, and he plays a really good Lone Druid and Furion. So, he's, in my opinion, one of the best players in the world on both heroes. So, it's kind of funny that that's the replacement they end up getting here, is that they get the new Bulldog, basically. Koikva has a way bigger hero pool, though. He plays more than 2 heroes, so... Ouch. It's not. What did Bulldog actually play? He used to play Lone, Furion, Clockwork, Doom, Batrider.
A little Beastmaster, I think.
Beastmaster, yeah, true. What did he play at TI when he didn't get Furion or Lone at TI3? He had another hero he played there. Because every team had 2 bans in the first phase, or did they have 3?
I think it was the Clockwork pretty often. Back then.
Yeah, there
Or
was some
Beastmaster.
Clock, I think.
I think those were the big ones, Beastmaster and Clock for Bulldog.
Yeah.
But he usually got them because if you ban those, then like the IO was often available.
Yeah.
So you had to be first pick, ban those 2, take the IO, and then Alliance would like, what would they go for? I'm trying to think. Coddle.
That's actually the way they lost to Navi in the finals.
Yeah.
The 2 games they lost. IO won 5 games in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Navi banned, I think they banned...
Arguably should not have won the 5th game though. But
That was, yeah, that game was a bit crazy in how that ended for sure.
Batrider,
Navi had
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that
Batrider was mainly S4 at that time,
Yeah,
I think.
that's
They put
right.
him on S4. But
Batrider got a
play
bunch
better.
of nerfs after that. He became like such a weak laner
Yeah.
at the early levels.
Yeah, the old Bat was sick. He was so strong. That's also back before they changed. You remember they made this like quality of life change, which actually wasn't only, that's the wrong wording. They changed the way turn rate works, so that when you turn from Batrider, it's like a smooth turn, it's just slower. Back then it was like jittery, you remember? You were
Yeah, it's like you're lagging.
like
or something.
lagging when you turn around. That was so broken. Batrider at that time. You just couldn't turn, really. That was insane.
Oh yeah, they added an extra ban. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so 3-2-1 now.
I've watched just enough Dota like over the last like year to like realize how much I don't know, you know? Then like these little like random like snippets will just slip through.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Knowing your weaknesses is good.
Yeah, and
You
there
know
are, there are many weaknesses.
You know
so.
some of them now.
Let me just add that
Need
one
to
to the
discover
list.
the rest. So pretty standard stuff here from Alliance. Beastmaster is a really hot pick right now in the offlane. Boxy plays it very well. They grab Phoenix, which is a bit surprising. They haven't been running that as much, but I think this is, again, one of those games that they're just supposed to trash in, so they might be experimenting a little bit with running in some extra heroes. Naga, very solid position 4 in this meta, has some of the best base stats in the game, great move speed, armor, and damage, and HP regen is pretty decent. She goes Mangoes. Do you remember?
Phoenix.
Have you seen the new Mangoes, how they work? They've been changed a lot in the last like month.
I saw someone whining about free mangoes being broken.
Yeah, that was probably CCNC. That sounds like CCNC. I think he has a point though.
So how do you get a free mango?
When you so when you play pubs,
You can random, right?
you can random, and then you get.
You used to get gold, but now you get a mango.
You get 2 mangoes and a fairy fire.
Wow.
And if you don't random, but you pick one of the 10 heroes of the day, they're marked by like a star on their icon. When you pick any of the 10 heroes of the day, you start with 2 mangoes.
Oh,
Which is what's the thing, right? Like
that seems a little too much.
That's what he thinks too. That's what I think too. Like the actual advantage is pretty big.
I
Like
mean,
2
I wouldn't make a
mangoes.
whiny ass tweet about it, but
2 mangoes is 140 gold. So it's not. It's a pretty decent advantage to start with.
I know. And it's totally random, the 10 heroes of the day, or?
Yes, they just shuffle every single day. Yeah.
Okay, so Valve hasn't gone full riot and like.
No.
You know,
I think
make you pay to get the good heroes.
I think
That's
it's
good.
full random, but the thing I don't know is if the same hero can be a hero of the day 2 days in a row. I don't know about that one. But you can see right now, if you go to the Heroes tab, you can see what heroes of the day are marked. They're like highlighted and have a star. If you look at my screen right now, you can see it. So like, so if you pick Night Stalker today, you get 2 mangoes.
What's little 7 mean in the
that's your Dota Plus thing.
That's your Dota Plus.
If you random, you also only random from the star heroes. You don't random from the whole roster. You can't random anymore. Truly random. You random between the 10 heroes of the day, and then you get the mangoes plus the verifier.
So certain days randoming can be really good.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like some days randoming is terrible.
I guess the idea is to like actually probably to somewhat discourage randoming, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about these stars is to incentivize people to play different heroes. I think it's a really good way for them to get data on heroes, because else the meta can get very stale pretty quickly in pubs, but people get inspired. They're like, oh, nice, this is a mango hero today, let me try it.
There's nothing about pubs that ever inspired me, Sind. I
understand.
Pubs are torture when you're in the dumpster bracket.
Wait, what's your you don't have an MMR anymore, do you?
I mean, I think my old account is like 4,600 or something.
That's pretty good.
Which is probably way too high for my current abilities, so...
Back then, that was top 5%? No, less. That was like top 2% or top 1%, I think.
I don't know if that's a sad commentary on the Dota community, or...
I think that was top 1%, wasn't it? Yeah, I think 4,500 and higher was top 1% back then.
I think my highest was like around 5K or just under.
That was definitely 1%.
Yeah,
that's
it's
good,
actually
David.
It's weird in Dota though, because there's no MMR decay. So even if you don't play the game for like 2 years, you have the same rank, which
you're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, which makes it very unfun to play ranked. It actually encourages you to have like an alternate account if you go inactive.
This actually sounds like a really great content piece, to be honest. David returns after cryogenesis, and then you have to play against these players that...
I seem to only like come back to Dota when I'm really drunk too. So not only am I like currently not that ranked, but then like subtracting like 1,000 for intoxication.
I would watch that content piece, to be honest. But you have to play ranked. You can't chicken out with a normal game.
All right, I'll put me with Pyrian Flex. We'll be a great team. The bald old men. The bold men.
The bold.
The bold men.
So draft is finished. Alliance grab a 5th pick Morphling. Koikva has his Nature's Prophet.
So yeah, what about these lineups? There's like a pretty good split push here for Alliance. It looks like, is that still their thing?
I think that
totally new roster. You know,
that way of playing in Dota right now is really difficult. You're kind of always going to be forced to take some sort of engagement. Roshan is too important. Teams are too good at playing timings, so. If you're playing a full-on split push lineup against a team that know what they're doing, the draft you're playing against might not be that good at dealing with your split push, but it might be really good at taking Roche and taking towers itself. So the trades are probably not going to be good enough for you. Like flat out a playstyle where you just avoid fights just doesn't really seem to work. Teams are too quick, make too many moves, and know the map too well for split pushing to really work. It might get buffed again. I feel like it will, but for now it's still not really a very viable playstyle. That doesn't mean you don't put it, like, it definitely happens. Like, you use split push as part of your strategy, but you can't just go into the game and be like,
we're going to rat and not take a fight for,
exactly. You can't game plan that before the game even starts. It's like a plan B that might have to happen during the game, but just going into the game and being like, we're going to pick 2 illusion heroes and a Furion, and we'll never have to fight until the game's over. It doesn't work.
And this is why OG disbanded.
Damn. But really.
Kidding, but... I don't know if that is the reason.
So, if this Radiant team, I don't really know their players. I think I know this Weaver. Yeah, I think I do. He's rank 421 on the leaderboard, so it is the guy I think it is. But I don't really know the quality of his teammates in this game. Might just be a friend stack. So I don't have too much hope for the Radiant lineup. But just from a drafting perspective, I would actually really like to see this game play out with 2 evenly skilled teams.
Did Valve just recycle the lines in the chat wheel?
They recycled all of the ones from last year, but they added a lot of
they added more.
Yeah. So this looks to be a standard dual lane off lane from Alliance. They're starting as 3 bottom. This is not that uncommon. You start as 3 for the bounty rune fight, and then your position 5 will often TP to the top lane and reinforce. Alliance have been doing this a little bit differently than other teams recently, where they stay as 3 for a little while and build a little more advantage, and then they help their safe laner a little bit later. But in this case, they have a Morphling, so I think whoever helps top has to kind of go there straight away. I would imagine that might be Naga this time around, actually, because...
I assume Legion's going to, like, trash Morphling otherwise.
Yeah, Legion Undying, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like, that's a rough lane, and I don't think Phoenix has what it takes to solve that lane, so I think you're better off sending the Naga to top, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Taiga will run up there instead of TPing. Naga, with the good move speed, gets there quickly.
So what is the Mirana build now? Is it still the Ags?
Not really. You mostly go Maelstrom.
Because I know Ags was like, that was like 2 years ago or something. It was like super
Ags was
broken.
insanely good.
Then they nerfed it, but you'd still usually get the Ags, but you just wouldn't go all in on like the magic damage.
Yeah. I would say nowadays almost nobody gets Ags.
Okay.
Maelstrom has been buffed, and the Ags got nerfed even more, maybe since then. It depends what version you remember. Like, the Ags of Mirana hasn't been touched for a while, I think, but the good version got nerfed, and then it got nerfed again. And now the gameplay is quite a bit different. I still think the build can be viable, though. I think you can definitely go Ags.
Triple Mango Naga.
Yeah.
Is that the build?
So what Mango does now is it gives HP regen. I'm not sure what it... When you played... I don't
It
actually
did give HP regen back then.
Because this item has been changed so much,
think.
I'm not sure how much it gave. I think Mango gave 1 HP regen, and then it restored like 150 mana or something, but it cost 100 gold. And all the math behind HP regen has been reworked. I'm not sure how familiar you are with that.
Not familiar at all.
The way regeneration works was the formula was changed. So generally these values are better than, if you remember the old ones, this is not half as good as the old one. This is better than...
Oh, it's better than
It's better than 0.5 would have been back then.
Oh, 0.5 means more.
Yeah, because it scales with your...
Oh, because it multiplies with, like, your strength, is it? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get percentage-based HP regen from strength. So...
Percentage... Okay.
Back then, HP regen was flat.
And that 0.5, is that a multiplier on the strength regen? Or is
so
that
you just have 0.
additive?
You look at the Naga, right?
Yeah.
So the Mango gives 0.5, but then she has strength that gives 10%, 12.1% HP regen from strength. So you can add that to the 0.5, right?
Okay.
So it's more like, now it's almost, it's like 0.56 now maybe. But it relatively quickly adds up, especially an item like Ring of Health is really powerful now. With regeneration. Now, I'm not really an expert on these numbers in the formula, so I don't really want to say it with full confidence how it works. But
you heard it here first, guys.
Overall,
fully confident.
Overall, regeneration is just better than it was a year ago. That's the way to think about it. You're pretty safe. You're pretty safe by just thinking of it that way. So Koikva mid is kind of destroying this Mirana. I think this lane is unwinnable for Mirana. Nature's Prophet, when he's very good at micro and playing the treants correctly, just has an innate advantage over a lot of heroes. And Koikva is destroying mid. He's 19 and 12 against 5 and 1 on this Mirana. There's definitely a skill difference between the players too, but I think a skilled Mirana in this lane would maybe have 10 CS now. But this is still, it's a very
So what you're saying is we have an unskilled Mirana.
We have a less skilled Mirana.
Okay.
It's probably still better than you.
Definitely still better than me. I'm going to try and fix a few settings here since it's already at minimum deceleration. Where's the speed? Let's turn that down.
So we got Phoenix and Beastmaster. You guys are probably seeing this a lot on stream right now. Went in for harassment on Weaver. Weaver's actually running out of regen in this bottom lane, and that's kind of a problem.
Let's see, does this work now? Okay, yeah, I'm trying to observe for you guys. I know the directed cam is just not very good right now for some reason, so
yeah, it's rough.
It's tough out here.
So I would say Alliance are winning all 3 lanes. Even though Morphling has slightly less CS than the Legion, he's doing better than he should be against Legion Undying. So I would consider it a win relative to what should be the outcome here. Bottom lane, Beastmaster is clearly out farming Weaver, and in addition to that, they've also drained all their regen with Fire Spirits and Axes, so they need to ferry down extra regen. That means the gold that they actually have is not transitioning into items, and yeah, Alliance still have plenty of regen to play with in the bottom lane. Phoenix has 2 Tangos and a Flask, Beastmaster has Tango, Flask, and Magic Stick. Plenty to play around with for them down there, so Alliance are looking very solid in this game. Just a flat 1,000 gold lead minute 4 from CS only. And there are so many denies in mid. Koik is almost level 6.
20 denies.
Yeah. That's a really.
And now he's hitting for 106 to the 75 of Marana.
Yeah.
But that's not even counting the treants.
Yep.
That is tough to deal with.
I would imagine Koikva tries to go for a kill here when he hits level 6. He can try to hit the palm a couple times and then get a Nature's Wrath off. Okay, never
Take
mind.
down the Undying. First blood up top. No.
Rotation from Phoenix.
Masterpiece.
Actually, there's no Wrath of Nature. He used
Peace
it already.
out.
Didn't connect, but doesn't matter. 2 quick kills. Good move from Phoenix.
Look at this. Man, Koikva is so aggressive. I guess when you've got phase boots this early, why not?
Yeah, he can bully this Marana out of lane pretty much at this point. And the bottom lane, Boxy suffers a little bit, obviously, from Phoenix leaving, but to get those 2 kills top, I would say this rotation is definitely worth it.
This is looking like another death for Victor. Victor, my nuts. Angry Victor, my nuts. Maybe not.
How do you get sponsored by your nuts, though? It's like there's these Alliance players that have Monster in their name, and then this guy has My Nuts in.
How does Monster feel about my nuts?
Do you think that's a product that could
that
sell?
That was not how I meant it.
Do you think that product could sell? You actually brand a bag of nuts and just call it My Nuts?
Sure.
Would that sell?
I mean, they have MeUndies, right? It's like an underwear company.
MeUndies.
I thought that was like edible underwear when I first heard that name, but apparently not. Which I've
Edible underwear.
That is a thing, you know.
Ugh.
For weird kinky people.
That's a thing. I think I heard.
I heard on the internet. Oh, got the arcane rune too. Very nice.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the Radiant should do right now. So their lanes, obviously Undying is a lane dominator support, but he actually lost his lane, so that's pretty bad. Bane is a lane dominating support, also lost his lane. So nobody in this Radiant lineup really likes to rotate right now. Bane can try to set up a Nightmare play.
This is
bottom,
not
yeah, not good.
Not looking good for Thorman. The bait.
That was really close.
Yeah, he almost got the kill.
The Scarabs are not that good against Stout Shield. So.
Really?
If he didn't have Stout Shield and Beast, he would have died.
You still get the minus armor, right?
Yes, but it just counts. The attacks of the Scarabs count as a regular attack. I do believe damage block works fully against those Scarabs.
Gotcha.
So. And they have, what do they have? 18 damage, level 1, and Stout Shield blocks, how much is it? 18, 50% chance. So half of the attacks of the Scarabs just don't hit.
So it's only for minus armor, or almost only.
Yeah, there's a little bit going through, right? But the thing is, even when the attack goes through, Beast still has... He has actually pretty bad base armor now. He got a big nerf this patch. He got -2 armor. That's a rip. It's so weird. Like
speaking of armor, what is Doom's armor now? Base armor.
Good question. I think it might be 0.
That was always like a monumental landscape-changing event.
0.8.
That +1 armor for
0.8.
Doom.
A lot of heroes got armor changes because the strength heroes have so much health. So in the patch where strength started giving more health to strength heroes, so to give you an example, right? Strength heroes get, how much HP is it per strength? They get 22.5, and the others get 18, or is it 17.5? 18, I think?
Mm-hmm.
You get 25% more. What's 25% of 18?
It's 1/4. It's a little less than 5.
It's 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's true. Yeah, so every hero gets 18 health per strength, but strength heroes get 22.5. So you can imagine those heroes were starting to have a lot of health in lane. And as a result, all strength heroes got -1 armor, with very few exceptions.
Jesus, this is just a chain feed in all lanes, basically. You know, the Bane is not feeling very impactful right now.
No.
I guess they got it for the Bane, like, Marana combo, but that doesn't really work very well against Furion with the Treants, right?
Exactly. They can't really gank that lane, so Bane doesn't have that option, and he lost his safe. They're just getting completely destroyed. This is another 100 or 1,000 GPM almost already, minute 9 here. 7,000 gold lead for Alliance coming up in a sec. So they're looking very good. They're going to fight for this mid tower. I like that the Radiant are trying to make moves instead of just accepting being destroyed, but this is not the way to do it.
Where's the situation where you would like it if they're just accepting being destroyed? Like,
I feel like the other teams we watched
just
today
like
so
kind
far
of rolled
kind of just
over.
got rolled over. Yeah, they didn't even try to go for a tower. They were just like
parading down mid, chain feeding,
pretty much
waiting for the game to end. Sounds like my pubs.
destroy your items, then we're there.
See, but with me, they get destroyed because I'm microing poorly. Not because, well, now you have the backpack, I guess, which I never use.
Anyway, to what was I gonna say? I was gonna finish off on
What's
the thought-
something actually interesting that syndereN can bring up?
No, I was gonna finish off the thought I had on Beastmaster. I just realized I didn't finish it. So Beastmaster, by being a strength hero, he got minus armor, and then in this last patch, he was still deemed too tanky, so he actually got minus 2 armor in lane, which is a really big deal. It doesn't, like when you think about it, maybe it doesn't sound like that much. Ah, it's just 2 armor, you know. You buy a chainmail for 500 gold. You could say it's basically 200 gold, right? But it's just not really how it works. Because of armor giving 7% damage mitigation per point, you can imagine in lane having 2 less armor and attack. Most heroes, let's say they have 50 damage on average, right? When you get hit by an attack and you have 2 armor less, you take 14% damage more. So that means every right click is like 7 damage more on you. That adds up really quickly in lane. So Beastmaster got hit hard by that nerf. He is still a top pick though, but it was needed for sure. So, bit of defense here. First kill, going the way of whatever the Hell Radiant are called. Do they have a name?
The Hell Radiant? Where did you get that name from?
No, whatever the Hell Radiant are called.
Oh, I thought the Hell Radiant sounds like a World of Warcraft.
I
like
think we'll
faction
go with Angry based on the.
I was gonna go with my nuts.
Oh, that's the sponsor.
Oh, okay, that's gotcha. The sponsor comes after.
So Angry Victor.
Angry my nuts. My angry nuts.
Dude, these names in these qualifiers are so stupid. We just had Whore and now we have.
They are playing rFu right now. I've alt tabbed and searched it.
rFu.
rFu.
rFu. Okay.
R.
Maybe
it's meant to be something inappropriate. I don't
really
know.
fucked up. That's basically what's happening.
Did we just say "fu" to the viewers? Is that what happened?
It was a bait all along.
I mean, they seem to like the abuse. The viewership count has actually gone up since we started casting. So, is that maybe that's what you got to do nowadays?
Hey viewers, you all suck.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends you suck.
But yeah, this seems like you know, similar to the last few games we saw. A lot of towers dropping early, map control pretty convincingly going the way of the big name team. Orchid comes out, 12-minute Orchid phase boots.
Really far above Furion. He's gonna TP in Orchid reveal on the Weaver. Good Sprout.
That
Actually,
should be a kill, right?
He failed his pathing a little bit. I think Weaver will ulti here.
Oh.
Yeah. Koik with a bit of a misstep there. Could have maybe been a kill, but still forced the time lapse, so he can't really do anything. Oh, good. Good.
Pretty good. Pretty good egg here. Looks like they should be able to get Rajshah. Bring him down and look for my nuts now.
Oh, Morph stole Tombstone.
That's a good shrine usage, but it's not going to matter.
Oh, wow. That overwhelming was hit really hard. Thinking about using Song. They're not going to do it. They're trying to win the duel. Didn't win it, but Mickey got the kill.
Oh, he even bought back on the Bane.
Yeah. So that was basically a 4-for-1 fight,
Mm-hmm.
plus a buyback, so kind of 5-for-1 in a way. Only Koikva dying, and 4 kills from the Morphling, so he is now skyrocketing.
Bane might actually die back, yeah. It gets netted, and he is in trouble. Self-deny.
Nice dodge.
No.
It doesn't deal damage anymore.
Oh, it doesn't? You can't deny yourself?
No.
Okay.
That was a... The change to Nightmare was actually a really big buff for Bane. So instead of dealing 20 damage per second, it deals 0, but Bane can attack the Nightmare target without waking it up.
Oh, but only Bane, not
only
his
Bane,
teammates.
yes.
Okay.
And the same rules even count if Rubik steals Nightmare or if Morphling turns into Bane and uses Nightmare. The Bane can hit the target, but nobody else in the game.
Does that mean I should go like Desolator Bane?
There was... Okay, you're not... This is kind of crazy.
Bane.
Bane had a talent. So if you look at Bane's talents right now, it has a level 15 talent called Enfeeble Steals Damage. That used to be a level 10 talent. So there was a phase where Banes would take that talent on level 10, max Enfeeble, and buy Mask of Madness. And they would actually just steal 120 damage from 2 targets on level 10.
It's like an OD, basically.
It was a legitimate competitive strategy to use a core Bane mid for about a couple of weeks, then it got nerfed. But that was actually pretty funny to see. You can't really do it anymore. The fact that it got moved to 15 actually killed the strategy completely. Yeah. That's how much it means.
Because by that point, people can just outright click you anyway. I imagine. He's too frail to pull that off.
And Enfeeble has been nerfed a lot as a skill as well, so the build-up is actually pretty bad now. If you look at the skilling now, it's so bad compared to what it used to be. Enfeeble lasts 8 seconds level 1. It used to be 20.
20?
Yeah. It was 20 on all levels, then it was 14, 16, 18, 20, and now it's 8, 12, 16, 20.
Okay.
It's a very bad skill now on level 1. So I'd say most Banes nowadays will go for a 0-4-4 build, and then they will get 1 point in Enfeeble when they have to, as like a Lincoln's Break or something, because It's like for lane dominance, it doesn't really make sense to get one in Feeble anymore. You don't do enough in 8 seconds.
Well, this game is looking fairly over, so I guess we can.
You think?
We can start scouting. Yeah, that's my.
I think it looks
that's
fairly
my
over
professional
minute
opinion.
5.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, Alliance sure are taking their sweet ass time with this game. Come on, get it over with.
Is there any chance they face Bulldog's team?
That'll be funny. It might actually happen. I don't know what the brackets are.
Can we trust Bulldog to try his best and not throw that game?
I mean,
Is
there's
he in
a
cahoots
bit
with
of conflict of interest, I would say.
Yeah,
in that
I
game.
would say so.
I would say Bulldog doesn't stand a chance anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But
Well, he was in
hopefully.
chat earlier, so clearly
Oh, yeah?
he's not too stressed out preparing for the potential matchup.
Or he considers this the best preparation he has. He wants our insight.
See what I have to say.
I'm not sure how I should attack this Alliance team. Let me hear what LD
LD
has
in
to
2018, he's got the. Well,
Dude, you're being really hard on yourself. You're
shitting on me as well.
you're really inviting it though.
Well, see, if you shit
You're-
on
you're
yourself
asking-
first, then
That's true.
you take the steam out of their engine.
That is very true.
Yeah, so I just have to shit on myself so hard that like Reddit's gonna feel bad for me, and make a praise thread.
I think the difference is I'm joking about it, but you're seriously just
Well, I
destroying
know
yourself.
how bad I am. I used to know a couple of mechanics.
You used to know a lot of stuff. You knew a lot.
Yeah. Now I'm like Toby.
You were the
How does this compare to casting with Toby?
right now.
Yeah.
It's very different. This is a lot more relaxed, I would say. We're not really trying to even
You're
cast
saying
the game.
you're saying Toby stresses you out, makes you uncomfortable.
You sound like some sort of news reporter right now, just trying to get the answers you want for your headline.
All right. Well, here come Alliance breaking the base. I'll get another pick off here on Raja. 187. I wonder if that means blink.
Oh, duel. They will kill the Naga. It's a start here.
Ooh, the
Morph actually
Morph
almost died. He got
Oh.
arrowed. All right, a bit
That
of
would've
life
been
in
big.
the game. Oh, nice access. Supernova placed pretty much on top of them. They did not have attack speed though. So dying.
So we were talking about like how I compared to Toby, I guess, before the fight broke out.
Do you want to go down that route? That road, rather?
Either. Either or. Well, I mean, he's been doing some PUBG, right?
Yeah, he's been casting a pretty good amount of Dota though still over the last.
Do you play PUBG?
year. I've never played it actually.
Okay. Are you a battle royale guy?
I've played some Fortnite, but I kind of got bored of it.
Yeah.
And I think the most boring aspect of the game is building, so maybe I would like PUBG for that
Yeah.
reason.
If you don't like
I should
building,
maybe
then
try.
you're not gonna like Fortnite.
No, it's. I mean, I like building as a concept. I think building stuff is fun. It's just
Yeah.
why is that in a? I don't like it for that type.
You
of
want
game
to
personally.
like blow people's brains.
I want to
out.
fight in a fighting game
Yeah.
like that. It's like imagine in CS:GO that you could start like building doors or whatever. To me, like I understand the niche of the game and what it likes that thing, and a lot of people love the building. So fair enough. It's not for me.
They're afraid of violence.
I
Those
like
people.
shooting people in shooters instead of building in shooters. So. That's all good. Well, to tell you about Toby has been casting a decent amount in the last
yes,
year.
yes. Sorry.
So
I didn't mean to
been-
derail us.
He has been casting a good amount in the last year, so he's definitely more up to date than you are. But
Okay.
I'm sure if you really want to, David, you can catch up pretty quickly.
Should I challenge
you know.
Toby to like a 1v1 mid for the right to?
That's not really what I meant by catching up, but I don't know how good he is right now. I don't know what his MMR is. I don't know how good his mechanics are, but he definitely knows the teams and the mechanics better than you do right now. Hopefully, if you can go away for a year and come back and you
Damn.
still know more than another caster, then they're not putting in the work, David. That's
Oh,
just
masterpiece.
Dota changes so much all the time.
Getting
So-
roared down. That is the one thing I will say about Dota is it is a hard game to keep up with if
Yeah.
you're not playing or casting regularly.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you can be a soccer commentator, football,
sure.
excuse me.
Yeah. Well, either.
Either or, not cast it probably for like 10 years. Come back and you'd have to learn the players
Yeah.
and the teams, but the game's not going to change.
Why are they throwing the ball?
All of a sudden,
thought this
they've got
was football.
clubs. They're like attacking this guy. Holy shit!
It's a lot. I would say it's harder to stay up to date with Dota, especially now that we have these like really frequent patches too.
Well,
It's
aren't
like
they?
the deck
They
is
want
kind
to.
of-
They're going away from that.
Yeah, they're definitely.
After the PPD tweets.
It's not going to be every 2 weeks anymore, I think, but I would still reckon we'll have patches more often than every 2 months or 3 months, most likely. So with all those changes, it's definitely harder to keep up if you're not actively playing. But I guess it also keeps it more interesting if you are. Like, there's a lot more. There's a lot more variety.
By the way, I have it on good authority that you are lying.
About what?
You've been building bridges, and you like building bridges.
Oh yeah, I played Bridge Builder. I was so
Bridge
bad.
Builder.
I played Bridge Constructor.
That's a game?
Bridge Constructor.
Bridge Constructor.
It's a game on Steam. It's actually
So
great.
you don't like Fortnite building, but you like Bridge Constructor.
Okay, that's what I said. I
That's
said
like
I like building as a concept. I just don't like it in a shooter.
You have to like mentally orient yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna be building bridges now.
Okay, listen here.
That sounds like the most boring fucking game I've ever heard. Bridge Constructor.
It's actually pretty fun. You need to build a bridge, and you need to have cars drive over it. So you need to engineer it correctly so it doesn't break.
Smoothie creator.
And I built the bridges so bad. I'm so bad at that game, but it was still fun. It's like, how to say it? When I was a kid growing up, I played so much with Lego.
What was that one on the farm that people used to play?
It
was like a couple years ago.
On the farm.
There's like a farm game where you could like drive like a you like ran your own farm, but
Farmville?
it was no, not farm, not like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon. It was like a 3D game.
Nothing comes to mind right now. Oh, anyway, when I was a kid,
Farming Simulator 19. I don't think a Farm Simulator.
Was
Yeah,
it?
it's literally called Farm Simulator. Is that the game?
I don't know. I never played it.
Okay.
I used to love playing with Legos though. I like building stuff.
I like
So
Legos too.
Building can be entertaining. Just why in a shooter, David? And why do you keep making me say the same things? Why do you keep forcing me to?
I am
defend my
I am a
opinion when
mouthpiece for the people. Holy shit! This Morphling attacks fast.
Yeah, so that's a hero that has been
Swiftness
changed quite a lot. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the new Morphling. His new ultimate does not replicate anymore in the same way. So what Morphling does is he can replicate into an enemy hero, and then he can turn into them.
And then turn back, right? But he doesn't get the ultimate.
He gets all the other spells.
Yeah.
So
I knew.
So now that Song of the actually, they're probably going to end this. I can explain it to you after the game, because this is actually a bit of a complicated mechanic. I think you're going to enjoy it, though, the way it works. The new Morph. Let's see.
So if you switch back, you have, like, if you toggle between them, you go back to, like, whatever your health on the Morphling was, right? So you can almost have, like, 2 lives.
Exactly.
Okay.
So basically, you turn into the enemy hero, and you have their stats.
And their abilities.
And their spells.
Do you get their items?
I can't remember exactly how the stats work, like what items. You can't use their items. If you get the stats based on their items, but you can't use them. I think you have your own items, but they're base stats.
Tipping is BM, right? If you're the winning team and you tip the losers.
I don't know anymore. People just use them like whatever.
We had a counter tip there. He tried to tip them as a congrats on the win, and then they're like, no.
So the